All right. Hello, everyone, and thank you all for joining us during the Lytham Partners Winter 2021 Investor Conference and what we're calling our 2022 Vision Event. My name is Robert Blum, Managing Partner of Lytham Partners. During this fireside chat, we welcome MedAvail, ticker symbol of MDVL, on the Nasdaq, and their Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Ed Kilroy. We'll dive into questions in just a moment, but one final note here. I want to remind everyone that MedAvail is available for one-on-one meetings later this week. If you've not already signed up, you can send me an email. That's Blum, B-L-U-M, at lythampartners.com, or you can visit the website, lythampartners.com/virtual. Click on the one-on-one meeting request button, and we'll get you taken care of. So with that, let's begin. Ed, let's start off the top. Give us a brief overview of the company and maybe a little bit of your background as well.
Sure. And Robert, thanks very much for the invitation to participate. A little bit about MedAvail. We are a technology-enabled retail pharmacy company. We are singularly focused in on embedding pharmacy into value-based care providers. We leverage this embedded position that we create into these value-based providers and drive high levels of medication adherence, improved health outcomes, and very importantly, very, very high levels of customer satisfaction. We achieve these goals of adherence and satisfaction by deploying a live pharmacy technician in each of the clinics that we deploy into, along with our proprietary technology, the MedAvail MedCenter, which is a kiosk-based solution that provides live audio-visual connection to our centralized pharmacies and has full first fill and refill dispensing capability within the clinic site itself. We also accompany that on-site dispensing capability with free courier home delivery for the patients that we're serving. We further leverage this model, this really coveted embedded position that we have through signing business associate agreements called BAAs in the industry, as well as collaborative practice agreements with these providers, which really allows us to share relevant data back and forth with the providers from our pharmacy to them or them to us, with an objective of improving adherence, health outcomes, and overall satisfaction. The model that we deploy as a business is a hub and spoke model. And what I mean by that is if you think about us deploying in these multiple clinics, we deploy a physical pharmacy into a large city. Orlando would be an example, Phoenix is another example, Detroit another example, where we deploy a physical pharmacy and we would connect these clinics back to that pharmacy, which would act as a hub. It also does central fulfillment back out to the kiosk to make sure they're replenished as required, as well as handle the local courier home delivery to our patients. And so we take this embedded position that we create through our proprietary technology, and we leverage it to drive just better health outcomes and higher levels of adherence, which 100% aligns with the goals and objectives of these value-based care providers. And we can talk about some of them that we are contracted with today. As far as my background, I've been with the company since 2012 when we first started building this technology, our proprietary solution, the MedCenter. My background is mainly in the technology space, and I've surrounded myself with a large number of very, very experienced healthcare executives who are driving this business forward. All right.
Let's talk, you've announced several partnerships with major value-based care providers such as Cano and Oak Street Health, as well as some expansions with them. Talk a little bit about the fit between you and their model.
Sure. So I'm assuming most people here understand the Oak Street or Cano models. Very, very focused, value-based care, taking risk for the health outcomes of the people they're serving. One of the major influencers of those health outcomes is medication adherence. And when you think about the options they have today, they're reliant on, obviously, wherever the patient goes to fill a prescription, that it's going to get filled. But they're also investing in internally resources to continue to follow up with their clients to ensure they are actually being adherent and they are getting their medications. In our case, what we do is we come on site. The patient obviously still has full discretion of where they want to fill their medications and whether or not they want to use our service. But we're present on the site, partnering with the care provider and sharing that data back and forth and providing a high touch service to the patient, which really drives high levels of satisfaction. And so when you combine what we do and the outcomes we can drive with the mission of the value-based care provider being better health outcomes because that's their model, the two come together very, very tightly. And so that's really the fit between us and them is creating that tight partnership with a pharmacy provider that is singularly focused on the adherence and health outcomes of those patients and working with the providers themselves.
So in that space, in that value care space, value-based care space, are you seeing increased levels of integration and data sharing with the providers?
We are. And in fact, what we're finding is that many of the providers are looking for us, which we can do through these arrangements we have in place with them, to share data regularly. And if you think about access to adherence data, a lot of the data most of these providers would see is usually 60 to 90 days old. So by the time that happens, the patients become non-adherent. We look at the data daily. And so we are able to very, very quickly identify patients who may have not filled their medication. We're able to, through our on-site person in the clinic, work with the clinic staff to identify when that patient may be visiting the clinic again. And between the two of us as a team, we can identify how to best approach the patient to understand what the challenge is with regards to the medication. It could be a copay issue where they need financial assistance, which we can help them with. It could be a misunderstanding about their medication. It could be any number of reasons, but that real-time action is what makes a difference between us and what we do versus other retail pharmacy providers.
All right. In your Spot RX model, where you run the end-to-end solution, can you describe how you scale that business and how fast you can really move there?
Sure. If you think about the hub and spoke model, once we establish a physical hub pharmacy, a physical pharmacy in a city, and I'll take Orlando as an example. We opened in Orlando in middle of the summer of this year, of 2021, and within 45 to 60 days of opening that physical pharmacy, we had 9 clinics deployed. Since then, we've announced further expansion in the Orlando area. And so once we have that physical hub pharmacy, we can expand very, very quickly into the clinics that both our providers, the initial firms we contracted with have, as well as new customers that we will identify and close on within those MSAs that we're participating in. We currently operate in Orlando and are supporting Tampa out of Orlando. We will be opening a pharmacy in Tampa very soon, which we've talked about publicly before. And so once we establish that footprint in a city, we can move very fast to expand.
Okay. I assume your performance as sort of this embedded pharmacy impacts the star ratings of the providers you deal with. Are there changes in CMS that make this more relevant as you look forward?
There are. And so your first point is absolutely correct. Many times when we're going into a clinic, a value-based provider, they recognize the benefit that we're providing and the convenience and the high-touch service we're providing, which helps them drive both adherence and satisfaction. a lot of the clinics we come into may have specific plans or clinics they're challenged with from a star rating, and that's where our data sharing and our proactive activity makes a major difference with them. And then with regards to changes, customer satisfaction overall is another one of these, has become a triple weighted factor in reimbursement. And so not that we drive, certainly not 100% of the satisfaction of a patient with their provider, but we certainly are an influencer. And so the higher level of service we provide as a pharmacy and show that we're integrated provides a bit of a halo effect on the overall satisfaction the patient would have with the provider that they're utilizing.
Okay. Now you've got the SpotRx pharmacy solution and the MedAvail platform, where you're selling and licensing the technology. Talk about that side of the business a little bit more and how you see it evolving.
Sure. So as I mentioned, the MedCenter itself is a proprietary piece of technology that we've developed, designed, and have built. It is a combination of about 1.5 million lines of software code, 400,000 lines of firmware code, and the physical device itself. The real know-how there is the integration of those three things together to meet regulatory requirements to allow us to do dispensing of prescription medications directly to a patient. And that dispensing is where we're doing the labeling, consultation, and dispensing all within the kiosk itself. It's not a locker as some kiosk solutions out there execute. So when you think about that solution, when you are operating a retail pharmacy or an integrated health system and you have your own pharmacy strategy, people have come to us and they want to use our technology, but they don't need our pharmacy back end. And so firms like Sam's Club, Texas Health Resources, as two examples, who have deployed our technology within their footprints in order to extend their pharmacy reach or reach the business goals that they have, whatever they are related to pharmacy. We believe this is an extremely large market. We're selective as to the players we're participating with, and we're contracted with a number of very large players in the industry, which we think gives us a significant opportunity as our business continues to move forward.
Okay. Do you partner with any particular EHR platforms, Epics, Cerners, and maybe share some thoughts on data integration, interoperability with those and other platforms?
Sure. So our software and our system that enables the dispensing, when we deploy, we do integrate that to whatever pharmacy management system the customer's using. So we don't determine what pharmacy management system they use. We integrate with what they have. A number of our clients, like a Kaiser as an example, have proprietary pharmacy management solutions. We've integrated with those. We have made a decision recently to integrate with Epic and their pharmacy management system, which they call Willow. I don't want to use the word partner because I don't want to mislead anybody. We've contracted to integrate into Willow, and so we will be fully integrated. So any provider who's using Epic's pharmacy system could utilize our technology, and we could deliver it very quickly because we will be fully integrated out of the box. We have a number of customers today that have signed with us, like Texas Health Resources, like El Rio in Tucson, Arizona, Providence Health on the West Coast, who are all Epic users and will be leveraging this integration as it comes to market, which will be 2Q of 2022. And it also opens up a very large opportunity for us because there are well over 300 IDNs in the US who use Epic Willow that we can be reaching out to and very quickly be selling to them the capabilities of our technology and the ability for them to implement very quickly.
Let's talk about growth plans. What is the primary growth plans for this business going forward?
So in 2021, we have stated that we intend to achieve at least 21 million of revenue, which for us would be 100% growth year to year. We've also said that for 2022, we expect a similar growth rate to continue. When I think about that, what's delivering that growth, it's one, we deploy into a clinic and over a period of time acquire customers of that clinic to become pharmacy customers of ours. Those clinics mature over a 14-month or so period as we acquire customers and deliver that value. The second thing is just continuing to grow with our customers. The customers that we have agreements with today, the Canos, the IMAs in Florida, Oak Street Health, InnovaCare, are all major opportunities for us to grow with them because they all have very large footprints of clinics and continue to grow themselves. So for us, it's continue to expand in those cities that we've deployed into, the Phoenixes, Tucson, Orlando, Southern California, Detroit, Tampa, as well as moving into new states with many of the clients we have today, as well as new clients. But most of the clients we have today are in multiple states, and we're in different discussions around the opportunities that exist, not only in the states we're in, but in new states where they operate today.
Okay. Let's take a step back here. Talk about the competitive landscape a bit. Who do you view as your primary competitors across both the SpotRx as well as sort of the technology piece of your business?
So when we think about our technology and our ability to replicate what a retail pharmacy does through technology, we don't see a direct competitor to what we're doing. And so we think we have a very unique position. I do point to many of these very large institutions that have signed deals with us. They've done their research of what's in the market, and they've decided to do business with us. So to me, that's the vote of, they believe that we've got the right solution, and we think we are uniquely positioned because of that. There are solutions in the market around doctor dispensing, locker pickup, but again, it doesn't provide that retail pharmacy capability, the first fill, the consultation, the ability to e-prescribe to us and have a patient walk up and use it. So although there's technologies out there, we don't see a direct competitor to what we are doing in the market, which is allowing us to grow very rapidly with the customers that we've contracted with today.
Question I've been asking most companies here, talk about what the impact of COVID has been on your business. And, let's look at both sides, right? The SpotRx as well as the technology side.
Sure. So two things I would say. One, from a impact perspective, we are very much clinic-based. Our customers' model is to bring the patients into the clinics because they're taking a high level of risk for the health outcomes for a set of patients that are 65 and over. They do want to see the patient on a regular basis. Telehealth, albeit gets used, we're seeing most of our clients go right back to face-to-face visits. So when COVID was at its peak and some of our clinic customers had reduced the number of face-to-face visits or changed the workflows, that did slow down some of our ability to acquire customers, but we've seen that come back through the last number of quarters. On the other side of it, though, as we saw COVID hit, a number of our customers who used to use our kiosks to pick up their medications flipped over to our courier home delivery. And so we saw two things happen. One was we continued to retain the customers because we had a multiple channel capability. But two, some of our clinic partners began to embed us into some of the telehealth initiatives they had going because they wanted their patients to have the ability to have that courier home delivery and not have to go to a physical site, and potentially risk some exposure. So the model proved to be quite resilient through the COVID peaks, and hopefully some of that's behind us now.
Yeah. Sort of wrapping things up here, what should investors be looking at as the key milestones and measurables in 2022? And if we were to sit down again in 12 months, what are some of the biggest risks that may have impacted you achieving those goals?
Well, I think from an achievement perspective, clearly we are a growth company, and companies should be looking at us as we have a extremely large market opportunity in front of us. We think we're uniquely positioned because of our solution, and we are signing deals and expanding with some of the very large players in this space in the market today. So I would say that so anybody's looking at our company should think about us as a growth company. And they should look at how we're expanding around the geographies where we are deployed, so how we're leveraging that infrastructure, and then how we're pragmatically entering new geographies to grow with our customer base. The other piece I would say is we are continuing to evolve in our offerings around adherence and some of the additional capabilities we can bring to market, which will add additional revenue streams and margin streams to our business. Just because of that coveted unique position we have of being embedded directly into the clinic itself. As far as the risks are concerned, our customers continue to grow. They keep adding more patients. Value-based care is becoming more and more prevalent. So we think the opportunity is just getting bigger. Clearly, things like a COVID, certainly are impactful to us, but they didn't stop us by any stretch. So I would say that there aren't right now what I would see major risks sitting in front of the company. For us, it's a matter of continuing to execute, expand our offering, and grow with these outstanding customers that we're partnering with today, and sign some new, well-known logos as we move through 2022.
Perfect. That sounds good. Anything else? Just a couple minutes left here. Anything else you want to sort of have investors take away from the company in the discussion here?
I would just say that think about this very unique position we have of being embedded directly in the clinic, sharing data, partnering with the providers, and being singularly focused on the value-based care arena, which is growing extremely rapidly.
Got it. Perfect. Well, we'll leave it there. Ed, thank you very much for the time today. Greatly appreciate it. Again, to anyone out there that is not already signed up for a one-on-one meeting, you can send me an email. Again, Blum, BLUM, at lythampartners.com. Visit the website, lythampartners.com/virtual. And again, we'll click on the one-on-one meeting request button, and we'll get you taken care of. We hope you all enjoy the conference. Ed, thank you again for your time today. Greatly appreciate it.
Thanks, Robert. Take care.